everyone, and welcome into the Writers Roundtable. I'm Taylor Stern with Rob Phillips, Dave Hillman, and Mickey Spagnola. Our last roundtable here until training camp, so we have to talk about it. Oxnard, California, the team will be headed out there on July 25th. And I'm going to ask you, Rob, first, what still needs to be settled during training camp this year?
You know, just looking at this roster, there's a lot of good problems to have. And one of them is wide receiver, because I don't know how they're going to shake out the final 2-3 spots. We don't really know how many receivers they're going to take. They could keep 5 or 6. You know the top 3, right? Randall Cobb's in, Amari Cooper's in, Michael Gallup's going to be a big part of this thing. There's some rookies challenging for spots. John Vay Johnson has looked good. Jalen Guyton, those undrafted guys. Alan Hearns making his way back. Tavon Austin, who's making his way back from the offseason program. Who's going to be in? Who's going to be out? Can these young guys push some of them? Sanjay Law, the receivers coach, said it's going to be heartbreaking trying to figure this out because there's 12 receivers in camp, and all these young guys are rising to their expectations so far. I'm just not sure what it's going to look like at the end.
That is a good problem to have when last year you were sitting there not knowing who was going to be your main wide receiver. At least this year you have more of an idea with Amari Cooper.
Mine's a little more of a bad problem to have, which
Oh,
I know that
classic
I'm
Dave Hellman.
sticking on my brand. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm the cynical guy, but here's the thing. We say this all the time in the spring. The Cowboys look really good on paper. They really do, but training camp means you put on the pads, you start practicing. I'm very curious about 2 guys in particular, 2 of the Cowboys' best players, Demarcus Lawrence and Byron Jones. We haven't seen either one of them since they had surgery. Demarcus had it on his shoulder right after he signed his contract. Byron's been coming back from a hip surgery. All indications are that they're good to go and they're on schedule, but it's a decent bet that both of them start training camp on PUP. That's 2 all-pros that might not be ready for training camp, might be missing well into training camp. The hope is obviously to have them ready for the season opener, but we always say it, right? These practices are important. So those are 2 pretty big members of this team who are not going to be practicing. Not trying to scare anybody, but I want to see what these recoveries look like. And I want to see, I want these guys out there and participating as quickly as possible. Hopefully, they have some time while we're in Oxnard to kind of get their feet underneath.
Rob, you had a
I did.
Yeah.
Hey, positive side, Dorrance Armstrong, Donovan Limba, picking machine,
Sure, yeah.
getting more reps in these OTAs.
No offense to them, but I'd rather have Byron and Demarcus.
Fair.
Yin and yang.
You know, I think the one you have to be concerned about being ready for the first game, I think would be Byron Jones, just because of the hip surgery and how much you need 2 good hips, right, to play cornerback.
Yeah, it's kind of important.
I think Demarcus Lawrence will be ready to play, and I think that they're going to look at him and go, you know what, does he really need to play in a preseason game?
That's fine.
What if he gets 10 snaps? Is that going to make the difference?
If he's okay to play, that's great. You don't have to play him. I just hope he's that far along.
Mick, what do you want to settle out
Well,
there?
I've got a couple things that I'm somewhat concerned about. The first one would be the backup quarterback position. I thought at the start of the mini camp this week, the 2 young guys, Cooper Rush and Mike White, struggled mightily. But as the camp went along these last 2 days, I thought they played better, and I thought they had a really good day on Thursday. So we're going to see how that plays out. And when you evaluate these backup quarterbacks, you have to remember, when you become the backup quarterback and you go in, you don't go in with the goofy squad, right? You go in with the starters, and it makes a big difference on how you play. The other thing, it's not a concern, it's just a wonderment. It looks like Travis Frederick is on his way back. He's been participating in almost everything, but most of the team stuff, they've held him out because he had shoulder surgery. Now the question is, when the pads come on, is he still his most powerful person that he was when he went to 4 Pro Bowls? And he says, that's what I got to find out coming back from the Guillain-Barré syndrome that he suffered and missed all last year with.
Well, I love that you brought up the quarterbacks, because when you talk about training camp and you talk about Dak Prescott, that is when he became the starting quarterback back in 2016. So it is very important that you have that settled during training camp.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right. Well, stay tuned to everything on DallasCowboys.com. These guys will still have all of the news over the next month, and get ready for the season. Thank you so much for watching.